So, anything on the menu today?
Yeah, headline news in Isle of Man is Anthony Riley.
Really?
I went to newspapers, but one's not on the internet. One's only in in normal print. But Mabisa is getting a copy of it for me.
How did that happen?
I'm not sure where they've got the info from.
Hey, Chocolate.
Have you seen?
Good morning
Morning.
Hola.
Hey, Chocolate.
or
Hey, but
afternoon where
have
you
you
guys
seen
are,
it?
right?
Good,
No,
good.
not yet.
So
Just
who
to fill you in,
who told-
Chocolate, Anthony's on the front page of the... I've forgotten the name, but one of the newspapers on the Isle of Man. He's on the front page of it.
Oh, a local
Yes,
paper.
yes. He told me that yesterday. That's awesome, man.
Well,
Yeah,
screw
is
you.
awesome.
Did you get in touch with the guy?
I'm on
He
it.
knows
I'm
all
trying,
about
I'm
it.
trying to.
Way to piss on my bonfire, Chocolate.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You
I was,
know all about it.
but
Then,
I was
see.
excited for him yesterday though, because that's pretty dope.
The worst thing
Yeah.
is that they've claimed that I've been debunked by Metabunk.
Cheap
Yeah, I
bastards.
mean, of course they're gonna say that. The guy is not trying to put himself out there like,
I met the bug. Are you serious?
you know.
After
Yeah.
everything we did?
How could you be debunked by Metabunk when he was debunked on this channel?
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know
Metabug
that.
calculator, right?
Yeah.
Well, we completely fucked up that thing.
I agree.
It's
But that's what they've
ridiculous.
told everyone, that I've been debunked.
It's like saying, "Oh yeah, you've been debunked by NASA."
Mick West already admitted that he was debunked, and so therefore that's basically impossible.
It's fake.
Is this article of yours in the newspaper, Riley, a hit piece or is it a positive, report?
I haven't read it yet. Difficult to tell because it's quite complimentary in one hand because it's like at the bottom of the article there's loads of flat Earth proofs, but then by the same token, it's pretty bad. The bits that he's critical of. So it's
okay.
Is it your
it's a bit
personality?
it's kind of neutral.
Yeah. But that makes you a mini celebrity now until you make it to the big paper, in the big city, right?
It's a local celebrity. That's
He's almost done in Scott Beach.
he's still working on his movies. I think.
No, I said Riley's almost as famous as in Scott Beach now.
Yeah,
And this is
Diamond Dan.
this is a paper you can get like locally in your neighborhood or like.
Yeah, you get it in bus stations and train stops, bus stops and train stations.
Huh.
Oh, you get
It's
it from
not bad, man.
newsagents.
It's a start.
Newsagents is the word you're looking for.
No, they give it away in municipal places. Like places where municipal buildings. They give it away for free.
So it's like the
You don't
metro.
buy
isn't
it.
it? It's like the
Why
metro.
would they
Though.
give a flat Earth thing away?
Yeah, Metro.
Like
the one I sent
publicly.
you, Metro.
It's the local paper. We got it here too. It's everywhere. You have the local paper and you have the corporate papers. And this
Well,
is
it's a national paper. It's not local.
national. Serious?
Yeah, but it's a free paper.
Okay. Damn. You got on national news. That's insane.
Yeah. Cool, huh?
Yeah. Like I said, that's pretty awesome, man.
But what's the nature of it, and did they get your permission?
They didn't get my permission, and the nature of it is to just apparently tell everybody that I've been debunked, which I find highly offensive.
But what instigated it in the first place, and how did it make it to the cover of that shit?
I think it was the what do you call it? The conference.
Nah. It's the flat Earth debate.
They might want to.
Yeah, because the conference was a while ago, though, right?
Yeah, but he makes reference to it though, so it's as if he's read it from somebody else's original newspaper source.
As far as
They
I
might
could
want to
see, he
retract
makes no
that
reference
because
to.
Mick West already got demolished.
He makes no reference to flat Earth debate. Total bastard.
I'm saying there needs to be a retraction made because if they're citing Metabunk, then they're already out the arse.
Yeah, most people don't realise that. I mean, we say it for Metabunk, but it's true for everything, Rasta. Literally, every single globe proof that you'll ever come across ever will start with the presupposition that you're on a sphere. Metabunk's no different.
I agree, but you actually have the example of Mick West coming on and admitting that they're full of shit.
Yeah, he admits that it's a presuppositional value. He just says he
Yeah,
takes
but
it from. I think he
The
says
guy
he
who
takes
that
wrote
it.
guy's
the paper
using
doesn't
that
know that.
He says he takes
Yeah,
it from the
that's
standard model, so he's taking it
And
from
that's where
what they just say.
and that's where he's aired.
So Mick West says he takes it from the standard model, so it's just basically what they say the Earth is. That's where he got it from. It's the standard model.
Well, then I still call for a retraction article.
Yeah. Once the weekend's out of the way, I'm going to say, look, I'm going to try and get on a phone-in radio thing as well to announce it.
I would.
They're saying things that weren't factually correct.
I
No,
might sue the guy.
they're not factually correct. If you've literally had the website owner on the show admitting that their calculator, which we all know can only give you a curve Earth result, then and only then he's admitted that that's a presuppositional value that they've used, it's not seated in science, then they can't claim that Metabunk debunks your observation. It doesn't since we've debunked Mick West.
There could be damages, so therefore they could be held to a suit in court for this.
Yeah, they could be, but probably won't be, let's be honest.
Sounds like your
The
cup of tea,
best
though.
thing would be to find this guy and see if you can actually have like a real interview with him instead of like him just writing an article on some guy he's heard of through the grapevine or whatever.
It needs to take
If-
place
if-
in
if-
court
if-
with a
if he didn't
solicitor.
If he didn't mention Flat Earth debates, that's probably because he didn't do his research. So
Yeah.
if he did mention the convention, so maybe he saw I don't know, a video on the convention or something.
Oh, blatantly, definitely seen the Flat Earth debate, of course.
All right, so then he just blatantly left it out.
Yeah, that's exactly the conclusion I came to, Chocolate. You're my man.
Yeah. Because
I think
why
he
would
needs to go in front of a magistrate.
You're on that show every single day, pretty much. So why wouldn't you mention that?
Because he probably hasn't watched it, but we won't mention that when we're live.
Copy that.
I think Riley should take it in front of a magistrate.
Yeah. Demand compensation.
Absolutely damages.
Right, can you all do me a quick favour? Just be in the position that you're going to be in front of your mics for when we go live, just so I can level check you. As soon as I start, I've been levelling you a bit. When you've got something important to say, everyone shifts their position and suddenly I've got you blasting out.
I'm going to go on mute, though.
I think I've got you sus now, Rasta. Anthony, can you say
No
something?
way, Jose. No way, Jose in the house. Right here.
Perfect. All right.
Jose, the hyena make that picture for you?
No,
Jose?
I did it. I did
Oh,
it
you
for
did that?
myself.
Yeah, hyena's good with that. He makes funny pictures. Makes funny pictures of Nathan running around with Rumpus's head.
Yeah, in
as
his
the
hand.
little- This is fantastic. Oh man.
Cool.
Anyway,
Matt.
on the bright side, at least you made it into the paper.
Bit less than
Like,
5 minutes.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. And it is a national paper as well.
But regardless of what he got wrong or right or whatever, the exposure is I think in this whole scenario, the exposure is the good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Did they have a picture of you as well?
No picture.
Almost too bad. 'Cause
Well, there
then
might be. He
everyone
hasn't
would
seen the paper yet.
recognize you.
He hasn't seen the actual
You might want to
rag.
bring up a case for the guy stalking you, though, Riley. I mean,
He hasn't seen the actual paper yet, so he
creepy.
might get to see it's actually in the paper. Did Mabessa tell you whether or not your picture was in it, Anthony?
No. Go on, get down me. Go on.
I bet you anything he's got a picture of you holding that Stella.
Yeah. That Stella's coming back to haunt me. I don't know why. I thought it was reasonable. There was no fucking cold drinks, though. What do you expect me to do? Fucking roasted in that room?
There's not only no cold drinks. They said, here's the bar. Here's tokens for the bar. Go and get yourself a drink. So you go to the bar and you look at what they've got on this tiny little bar, and they've got Stella and, you know, they might have had bottled water there though. I can't remember. Probably.
Yeah, but you're not going to get bottled water when someone's offering you a beer token, are you?
I don't tend to buy bottled water ever. I don't tend to visit bars ever. I'm too poor to visit bars. I'd pay £3 for a drink, but if someone's offering me one for nothing, then yeah, chances are
bring
I'll
my
have...
own filtered water.
Say again?
Yeah. So I got my own bottle.
Well, you've got a distiller, haven't you?
I don't drink tap water.
Haven't you got a distiller?
No.
What is that? Oh, a distiller. No. I got a ceramic gravity fed filter. Haha, gravity fed. Just
Yeah, I need to change
Is
my
it
one.
an
that's what they're called.
Do you have a
Is it an
Procure,
aluminium
Arwen?
gravity filter?
You have a Procure?
No, it's a Berkey. It's an old
You
got a
system.
big Berkey?
And a pretty big one.
It's the Big Berkey.
Like what is it? 8
It's
liter.
called
one?
the Big Berkey.
Yeah, but there's different sizes. There used to be, and I got one of the bigger ones, so it's pretty big. Lasts like half a week for me.
I got a Pro Pure
At full tank.
pitcher in my fridge. That's about it.
I got a Procure shower filter.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, I got not a Pro Pure. What's the other one? There's
I got
another filter
I got the
got.
Procure air filter, y'all.
I need one of those.
I
It's
just
nice.
like how Arwin just sneak gravity in, and he go like, ha ha ha. That's funny. That
What? Sorry?
I like how you sneak the gravity with the gravity filter in,
It's what they're-
and then you laugh. I know it's how it come, but it's just funny the way it came out. I pictured the whole thing, and you're like, ha ha, like little Nelson from the
Yeah, but it's
Simpsons.
everywhere.
Jose needs to stop busting gravity balls.
That's what they're called. Yeah.
What kind of smoke do you have today, Jose?
I'm sorry, I was drinking a soda here.
What kind of smoke do you have today?
Cheap smokes, nicotine for the body, the cheapest ones I find.
This guy in this fucking article claims that he says a flat earther has claimed that instead of a globe, it's some kind of magic pancake floating in space. I'm reading
Once
the article
again,
right
big
now.
old lies and
What the
libel.
fuck is wrong with this guy?
And then when they have no idea to a strawman to attack a model, they go. I mean, most of the time they go like, "Oh, these Christians, because a book tells you this and that and whatever. You're God." And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about, dude? You know, it has nothing to do one thing with another. This is freaking science I'm talking about. You know."
Hey, so I gave that new guy that joins Flat Earth Ginger, I gave him that name the other day. He used to be called I'm Sorry, and then I saw him on video, like in the after hangouts, and I was just like, man, I said, you're so red. I said, you should literally change your name to Flat Earth Ginger. And he laughed so hard, and then he literally dropped off and then came back on as Flat Earth Ginger.
Check. You gonna help Daddy do his intro? Eleanor? You gonna help Daddy do an intro? Go on, you're gonna say hello to the audience? Come on then.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Stopping Traffic in My Rasta Hat, The Plain Truth. Who else? We've got Sleeping Warrior, Jose, Chocolate Sane, and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Yo, yo.
Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Yo.
Que viva la tierra plana.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Shout out to bien, chick.
Hello, lover boy. How you doing, Travis?
I'm doing.
I can't believe you're flying across the country just to see that chick. I mean, and see a movie, but
Driving.
I mean, pretty cute there, buddy.
Yeah,
Driving.
I just pulled in last night, so we went out to dinner, had a fantastic evening.
Did you say you pulled in or pulled out last night?
No need. Come on.
I arrived at my destination.
Yeah, right, okay.
I don't know what to do with you children.
Are you guys gonna drive to LA together?
Yeah. Later on today.
Make sure you get some black and white
Nice.
footage of it all with you, like with white scarves waving in the wind.
Yeah, that's right. We've got our own little MG waiting for us.
You got to be on the show tomorrow and honk the horn with her in the truck.
Honk the horn, is that
Yeah,
you?
well, no, because we're not driving to LA with the truck. The truck will stay here.
You've met her and spoken to her and stuff?
Yeah, we went out to dinner last night.
Oh, cool. I didn't know if you'd like just met her on the internet and you
He's
like.
staying at
she
her
seems
house.
lovely,
What do you
but
think?
Would you like actually have
Hey,
met her?
let's not cross the line. They're cheeky people.
Is she vegetarian or vegan or just regular?
Really?
I think she eats meat.
She is a once in a while meat eater. We went out for ribs last night, so she indulged last night.
Lovely.
Well,
Should we do
that's-
some-
All right, move on
That's
to
everybody interrogating.
Can we move on from here?
Yeah, let's do
This
some.
is getting way
Nothing to see, folks.
too deep.
Let's do some housekeeping. Any signs of curvature, gentlemen?
9
Travis? How
No.
much curvature did she have? Sorry.
No, not of the Earth-based variety. There's always one.
It's always Arwin, not always one.
Well, Ranty's just as bad. Any signs of Earth-based curvature?
No.
9
No.
Well, axial rotation again of the Earth-based variety specifically.
No.
No motion.
Well, scientific evidence of gravity.
No.
Not yet.
No.
Any signs of a gas pressure without a container?
Don't be silly, Nathan. That would defy the second law on thermodynamics, entropy.
Never.
No.
Only in a person's wildest imagination.
I haven't
Well-
been in Home Depot. I want to go and ask to see if he exists.
For anybody who's green to the show, your entire worldview, if you think you're on a sphere, defies the second law of thermodynamics because you can't have gas pressure without a container because of the law of entropy. So if you've got a vacuum of space, then how do we have this gas pressure that we're breathing? Well, the
Gravity.
reality is...
No,
And
that
obviously,
doesn't
one of
work.
the other questions is, what evidence have we got of gravity? And there is none.
No, but
Oh,
even,
no, sorry.
even with gravity, it can't work. That's the whole point.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I
normally my
agree.
next question.
That's why it's even theoretically impossible. It doesn't pan out.
Well, gravity, the mathematics of gravity is not going to yield a demonstration of gravity holding gas pressure without a container. So that's usually my question when they say, oh, gravity does it. Well, show me gravity maintaining gas pressure without a container. Anyway, moving on. Any evidence of a molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
It appears in current education, at least here in America, that they are not preaching molten iron core, that they claim solid core surrounded with a molten layer.
Really?
Yeah, it's still an issue with it being molten or solid either way, because it apparently has a gravitational force.
That's the bending of space-time.
I just wanted to add the fact that they're talking hot solid core at the very center of the R.
What is it comprised of, according to them?
They say that it's also basically mostly iron, I believe is what they're saying.
No,
It's on
a solid
Wikipedia.
iron core now.
I just Googled it.
Nickel.
Really?
Not
Wow.
the other main
So
property.
they're finally adapting, aren't they? It's about time.
I wouldn't exactly call that a great adaptation on account of the fact that if you've got a marble in the centre of a Cadbury's cream egg and you spin that, it's going to cause that centre solid core to move around inside the liquid core. So that, for me, causes a big problem also, but let's not get into that. The molten part, iron part, any part of a centre of a presupposed spherical Earth is all nonsense and never going to ever be proven. So I don't mind keeping the question
And none of that
exactly as
has
is.
anything to do with holding humans or anything non-metallic to the ground when you're talking about magnetism.
Well, it does on their model. On their model, it's the creation of the magnetic force. The gravitational force and the magnetic force.
You can't have both. Pick one and
Well,
No.
they
demolish
argue
that
that
one
you have
and
movement
pick the
of
other one.
They argue that the movement of electrons itself creates a magnetic force, which it may well do. But let's see it relative to iron and nickel in critical super temperatures. And of course, that doesn't exist.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
There is no distance to the sun, Nathan.
Well
I think
said.
Arwin might agree.
I
He does
know.
come out with the odd line that's quite good, though, Owen, sometimes.
So do you. Sometimes.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Fair enough. What about the presupposition itself? Any evidence of Earth radius, the R value?
No.
Radius Sanctus.
R for rumpus.
Pretty sure that's it then. No
R
unicorn
never
hangouts?
seen
Mark?
No Bill Miller? Any of the
Who?
ancillary housekeeping bits?
Don't you mean Brian Mullen?
We know he's a real guy. Bill Miller, on the other hand, maybe not.
Bill Miller showed up in the chat the other day, so I
Yeah,
think
that
there are
can't be
signs
relied
of-
upon, let's be honest. We joked about it, but I don't want that to actually become part of the narrative that that's proof of Bill Miller, because it isn't. Let's be honest.
Tons of shout outs that need to be shouted out and then retracted.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat.
Yeah,
Shout out.
Shout out to the chat.
To okay.
Did I miss something? Are you guys talking about?
Shout out retracted.
Yeah, shout out, retract this.
Well, if I do some proper shout outs, you can retract any that you don't like, but everyone gets a shout out from me. So, shout out to Colin Stewart, good to have you. Ute, nice to see you. Colorado Forest Beings, good to see you as well. John Watson, hooray, good to see you. Oh, lost a couple of the guests to rubbishy
they-
internet connections. Goddess Witch Bella, thanks for being here. Donny Johnson, hello. Saucy London, hello. Dank, shout out to you, my friend. Rune Thornton,
Okay.
shout out to you too. What else we got? Alan B, shout out to you.
It's me. I dropped.
Shout out, retracted.
Scott Beach's milk carton.
EO, shout out to you. Make 4, shout out to you. Why is your message getting Simon Dan licks balls? Oh, okay. That's probably why that was censored by YouTube. Simon Dan, fake subman Dan. Be You Rational, good to see you. The Brain, thanks for being here. Was, hello, shout out to you, my friend. What else we got? DJ Rick DUK, good to have you, my friend. Earth Flattener, nice to see you. Nick, shout out to you. Earth Flattener again, hello.
I got a few special shout outs
Yeah, go
to
ahead.
all those people that works in NASA watching the show right now, to the government, Mr. Trump, hi, how you doing? Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, Nick West, and all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And in special, the last one, Boss Aldrin. Thank you very much for watching.
Shout out to Flat Beefcake. Good to have you in our chat, my friend.
Shout out Retracted.
Bill Nye retracted, yes.
Do I need to wait for a lot of retractions? Neil
Shout out
deGrasse
to Eddie
Tyson,
Bravo.
shout out retracted.
Bill Nye doesn't look shows, he just looks at scripts he's handed.
With his bow tie.
Shout out to Mong Patrol. Shout out to David Abs. Good to have you both. Flat Earth Audio, nice to see you. Shout out to Flat Earth Reset. Shout out to Good Times for All. Zachary Zabala, good to have you in our chat. Sarah Christina, nice to see you.
Sarah.
Vale, good to see you. Gassy Juice, thanks for being here. Ryan Q Vincent, shout out to you, my friend.
My dude, Hyena.
Shout out to
Shout out to Hyena.
Hi.
Vinegar Strokes, good to have you here. Gassy
Out of
Juice,
what?
think I've had you.
Where can I
Unsalted
fly?
667, thanks for being here. Anybody else?
That was
CGI
cool.
Ranty, good to see you. Andres Browning, Gee, good to see you both. Any more for any more? Legendary Super Looming Perspective Hijacking Hyena, good to have you.
Shout out Retracted.
Aw, Jimmy.
Nah, you can't retract
Jimmy
Hyena
wants
shout-outs.
a
How dare you?
shout out.
No way. We've got controversy on our hands. I'm going to stop everything. So I shouted out, let's get his name right. Legendary Super Looming Perspective Hijacking Hyena. And Arwin said, shout out retracted.
Why would you do that, Arwin? Wash your mouth out.
Because he's a dick.
Everybody's a dick.
video.
He made you an advert.
Meh.
Do you mean there? He went to a lot of effort. He edited together a proper advert for Arwin, and all Arwin did was remix it with a different soundtrack and basically claim that it was better. And now he moans about him. It's like, what's wrong with the advert he made about you?
He's still
Oh, it was pretty funny, Arwen. You gotta
yeah, I
admit.
know. It wasn't that bad. I've seen worse.
I know the music was a little off the chain, but it was funny.
It was okay. I'm not... It's just he's always a dick in chat, so...
He's not always a dick.
Shout
Yeah,
out
Arwen.
to Timmy. Shout out to Timmy Osman, who thinks that me, P1000, Ranty, and all of us, we catch curvature in every single video we make, and we are not genuine because we're not saying this is the curvature of the Earth in every single video we take.
Hey, Bill Miller's in chat.
See, I told you.
How about M. Scott Veach, by the way? Has anybody learned what scripts he's working on exactly currently?
He works on the show CSI, allegedly.
Really?
Right now, what season?
Who
I
cares?
don't know. They're probably in like the 14th season of CSI.
Damn.
Don't they name them by like CSI Miami, CSI New York, CSI allegedly?
Yeah, but he's supposed to be on the original CSI, self-titled CSI. Takes place in LA. I do have a new milk carton. It's got him on it. It's kind of spoiled though.
Hey, it's plain truth.
Yeah.
It said that it was good, but when I opened it, it was spoiled. Spoiled in Scott Beach milk.
But it has his face on the side.
Yeah, he's crying. In his daddy's NASA suit, it looks like. It says Lacey on the sleeve.
So his dad supposedly went into space, like
Yeah, 90 and 92.
on what missions? The space shuttle, or
Space shuttle, yeah, shuttle missions.
and I can look him up. Like,
Yes.
Operation CGI capture.
776.
Okay.
Break it,
I
break it.
can't remember. I can't remember what his first name is, but his middle name is Lacey. He goes by Lacey Veach. I just can't remember what
Make
his
for
first name is.
Is that you?
Hey, Make 4. Good to have you. Long time no see.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Still looking for that curve. Have you found any? You've been gone for a long time. Where have you been?
I thought I told you I went back to the globe for a little while, man, and now I'm just like, nah, screw that.
You went back to the globe.
What did you do there?
Just for a little bit.
What that took you back to the globe?
Paul and Curved Water got me with the whole sunrise, sunset, azimuth kind of dealio, and I was just, I don't know. So the only way I can explain it to myself, hello, whoever joined.
Who did you say got you? Paul.
Paul and Curved Water, just for a little bit. Yeah.
Fucking hell, I didn't know he could get anybody.
But nah, like after really thinking about it and all the other problems that are around the heliocentric model, I just came back to it, man. So I'm back.
From outer space.
That's right, yep. The gravity pulled me back.
So you've, what's the word? Decided to relinquish R from your life then. So presupposing you're on a sphere and looking at how the sun works.
And you got exercised.
No, you announced it.
Last night I was checking out the Selenian or the Selenelian or whatever you want to call it. I haven't seen that before, and that was a bit of a mind blower for me. So that, how the hell does that work on a globe?
I don't even know what you're referring to there, dude.
It's a good one. It's an eclipse that happens when the sun's coming up, so you can see the moon and the sun at the same time. But it eclipses, and the eclipse happens from the top down of the moon, which is the wrong way around. You'd probably have to look into it or have a look at some photos.
Right. Okay.
You don't know?
Not familiar with it, if I'm honest. No.
Sorry, my Bluetooth acting up.
Hello, was?
Yeah, it's basically
so like
it's a lunar eclipse. There's footage that I think has been republished by Russian vids. I don't know the original videographer, but exactly as you describe. So an eclipse with both the sun and the moon above the horizon. Which makes no sense if it's the Earth causing the eclipse. Oh, let's check it out. I've lost half the panel. Marvellous. There'll be a short intermission. No idea how that happened. Distracted for literally 20 seconds, wiping my kid's nose. I think I'm going to blame Travis and tell him to use a different count from now on. Okay, so the link's just about to go public in Skype, and I'll publish it in the Hangout shortly.
Good
Hey,
day.
Ranty. How's it going?
It's going okay, thank you.
We're with you shortly, Ranty. Hey, Travis. Any chance you can switch accounts so that you're not coming in under the Mona Lisa face? Because that's the one that keeps getting us. Every time you drop and rejoin, we just think it's you, and it's not. It's a sniper.
Counts. Okay.
Long live Flat Earth.
Hey, Jose.
It's like the good old days, isn't it?
Ah,
Hey,
yes,
guy.
indeed.
It wasn't Travis.
Oh, who was
a
it?
fake was not was.
Alright, that's me.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
What's up, Ranty? How you doing? I didn't see you. You just joined now, right? Not earlier?
I just joined this second, yeah. How was the show going?
Yeah, well, a lot of people got kicked.
Sounds about right.
Right, fingers at the ready. I'm going to stick the link out for the public. So what do you know, Ranty?
Nothing too much, to be fair. I'm working on a video, bringing in that, the dog bouncing out of the mirage zone kind of thing, with the inferior mirage of the sky.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and use that to prove why when you see the same thing happen with a boat, it isn't going over the curve of the Earth. It's actually going into that mirage zone and being hidden by atmospherics.
Ah, we might have something that you don't know about then.
Okay. Who's that?
I will tell you. I'm just in the middle of doing a few behind the scenes things. So, yeah, we've got sent very kindly a what's it actually described as? Just give me a second, Ranty.
Okay.
Okay, it's
Nice
called...
show. Nice show yesterday, Ranty, doing the shout outs and promoting a little bit the Mars Sergeant. I mean, if you gotta push each other, to get views and spread the word around. Not bad.
Yeah, I was talking to her on Facebook, and she mentioned that Mark Sargent was going to be on a show, and I just thought, well, the last time I've watched a show, she's only had 30 or 40 people watching, and I thought that's far too small an audience for that. Let's drum up some interest before she starts, and apparently it got 170 watching, so it's all good.
It's all about Roxanne?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her. She's pretty cool.
Okay, Ranty, I'm going to share with you a little treat.
Go on then.
A big shout out to Flat Earth Audio for producing this. Can you see?
I can.
Hey, Earth Flatner.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Flatner.
Chocolate.
Get rid of that was not was. Oh, it's really him. No, keep him. Hey, Spurs, is that really you?
That's me. It's me. Yeah. All right, you hear me? Yeah.
Good to have you. Get
Good.
one more guest. We've got a full panel. Oh no, we've got a full panel already. Excellent.
Yeah, I don't think
days.
it's me that's like the first time it affected me.
It
Just-
was not was.
That's me.
Yeah, there was a fake
Oh,
you.
it was a soccer account. He came in, immediately sniped everyone, like in half a second.
What was it? My icon was it this?
Yes.
On the...
It's a clone.
So, check.
They
What
do
did
it
you reckon to that,
sometimes.
Ranty? I'm going to make it big this time for the audience.
That's pretty awesome. That.
So talk us through
You can
what's
ha-
happening.
Well, obviously, where that mirror band starts, that's where the atmosphere is starting to block out things in the distance. So just with the dog's legs and the dog's whole body at times when it was jumping in and out of the mirage zone, it wasn't going over the curve. It was simply the exact angle needed for it to be partially obscured by the inferior mirage, and this is exactly the same. So the atmosphere is mirroring down the boat, and the rest of the boat is hiding behind that atmosphere.
But it's not atmosphere. It's a narrowing of the angle. As the boat gets further away, the bottom section of the boat is in the narrowest of the angle that you can see from your viewing position. As it gets further, it works its way up the boat as the top section of the boat goes into that angle also, again, as it gets further away. So you effectively see Ares diffraction in action. So the angle gets narrower. Let's just replay it one more time. So as it's going into the distance, the angle that you can see the bottom section of the boat is reduced as it gets further away. So obviously this is vastly increased in speed, 50 times, 50x. But you're seeing, if you look at the bottom section, it gets more and more mirrored, this section here at the bottom with this blue bit, until it's not the bottom you're seeing anymore. It's the reflection of the top section of that blue thing. And then this midsection, the same. You can see the mirroring all the way along this midsection. And then that stops being mirrored because that's too small to see. The angle's got too small. It's at no point going over any curve. The angle to the viewing, your viewing angle to this boat is reducing as it gets further away. And you see more and more of it getting refracted. The top, on the other hand, you've got a wider viewing angle to, so that stays consistent for almost the entire video. Because you've got a wider viewing angle to it.
It's really great editing work, by the way.
Flat Earth Audio, go subscribe to him. I'll put a link in the box once it's done this time. So there we go. That's spectacular work.
Yeah, that 20 odd minutes standing on the seafront was worth it. It was blowing a gale, but we got it.
Awesome.
Can I play devil's advocate for a moment? Because I can. Now, what you actually were seeing there was the looming effect was wearing off, so it was disintegrating. So suddenly you wouldn't see that mirage making it look exactly flat into the distance anymore.
Yeah, right. Looming my ass. It's just going into the narrowest of the angles that you can view. It's just a beautiful example of Ares diffraction in action. Hey, that rhymed. Ares diffraction in action.
So you mean when a building is very, very far away, I'm not going to be able to see the bottom of the building?
If you're too far away to see the bottom of it, like this picture, well, it's gone now, the one that was on screen a second ago, but with anything that's in the distance, the bottom section of this mountain that's on screen now, this very lowest section of this mountain, you can't see, regardless, because it's just too narrow an angle. So it's going to effectively disappear from bottom up if you get further away from it. As the angle to this mountain sits, so at the moment only a tiny section of it sits in that angle. If you've got double the distance away, you'd probably lose this much of the mountain purely by virtue of you not having enough of a viewing angle to it from this elevation. Not that you could back away from it twice the distance at this elevation, but you know what I'm getting at. Ares diffraction rules always. You're always going to have the same thing happen. Seeing it here happening with the sun, you know, the same thing always happens. You know, there's going to be instances where a wave or something in the foreground will obscure your view of that part of the viewing angle. So all you end up with is a wave crossing the midpoint and obscuring it that way. So there's multiple ways that you can have obstruction. There's 101 different ways of having obstruction, but every obstruction ends up getting double talked into being curvature when you talk to a globe head. This much obstruction, that much obstruction, and the whole point in doing that is so that they can go and beg the question on a calculator that's already decided it's a globe by looking at how much bloody obstruction there is. And obstruction is not curvature. I'm going to make it my new motto. Obstruction isn't curvature. So don't care how much obstruction there is. There's a million different ways that you can obscure something, especially when you take into account perspective, which they ignore. So obstruction, I don't want to ever hear another argument about obstruction, because obstruction isn't curvature.
Indeed, curvature is a cumulative drop, and the cumulative element seems to be missing entirely in real-world observations.
Not about cumulative drop either, Arwin. Curve is curve. Something curving is a curve. That's a curve. If we live on a sphere, we'd see a curve. We don't see a curve, but we get told that drop and obstruction and things of that nature are an equivalent or a way of measuring. It's like, no, I'm sick of hearing it. We don't have any curvature, and that has already been sort of long since conceded. So we've moved on to this obstruction bullshit.
I think what the ballers want, you know, that's a good explanation, but I think they want an equation. They were like, "Oh, give us an equation. How can we look at this mathematically? You know, how can we model?"
It's called 0 plus 0 curve equals 0 curve. That's your freaking equation.
No, I agree, but you know, that's the kind of argument that they would kind of bring forward, is that, oh well, you know, we've calculated.
And that's the answer.
Yeah.
Are the ballers saying the math is reality?
Some of them are.
Well, no, it's not just that. They're just, what Nathan's saying is, you know, it's fully understandable. It's clear as crystal clear. But you know, for the ballers, they want to calculate everything Nathan is saying. They want to compute it, like do, 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 do. So like when he's speaking, they need to be able to input into a computer and make sense of it. It seems like, you know, normal words and just explaining, talking, this is how something works, and they, you know, their response is just, well, if it's not an equation, it doesn't make any sense. So, you know, they're struggling against practical, like you're saying, like we're saying, and the math side of it. They think the maths is reality.
So the ballroom at Blackpool was featured as the Bing search engine homepage yesterday. Anybody see that?
No. The what, sorry?
The ballroom at Blackpool was featured as the Bing search engine homepage yesterday.
Was
yeah,
it?
I took a screenshot. It was pretty amazing. It was from the inside of the ballroom.
Cool. Can we see it?
I can get it dropped into Master B's here in just a bit. I'm on a mobile, so I can't present. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll drop it into Master B's, and maybe one of you guys can grab it.
Okay, so, you know, as usual, you know, we're pushing hard for the, you know, the debunking of NASA and ISS in particular. I think Flat Earth is split on whether something is up there or not. You know, some people say Flat Earth, say, you know, it's outright, the whole thing is an outright fraud. I'm swinging towards that there's something up there in the sky, unmanned, by the way. Taking video of the Earth, but they're cutting the feed out when they reach, you know, certain points, the most northern points. So, you know, discussing this with the ballers, a baller called Planner Walk, he says that he can build a rocket, amateur rocket, and so the idea would be to, you know, have that rocket.
Ranty, what was the name of that thing that we were looking at last night that explained the tide rolling in and then rolling back out again at the same time?
Tidal bore. And then you've also got your...
B-O-R-R.
B-O-R-E. So you've got a tidal bore going
right
on.
You're right, Anthony.
Hola.
Hola.
And then you've got the tidal rip as well. Or the rip tide, whichever way you choose to call it. No guessing what you're working on then.
Yeah.
I've been speaking with Ruhif on Skype.
Ooh, shout out retracted.
And he says that, you know, the compression of the boat, he reckons that that is proof that the object that's we can see that doesn't get distorted, that is just seeing the boat. And the compression of the hull is visualizing refraction around the curve.
Guys, I'm presenting Rasta's image.
Oh, right. So looming up doesn't do it proportionately anymore. Looming up does it squashed. Is that right, Ruhif?
That's perfect. That's exactly what I was going to say. Because if that's the case, right, and every observation where we've seen a building in its entirety in perfect symmetry, right, and that's been loomed up, right. If this was the case, was happening with the boats, then we wouldn't see the top of the boat. We'd only see the bottom of the boat because the bottom of the boat would be loomed up and block out the top part of the boat behind it. What an idiot.
Careful with Ranty, he's speaking with ballers behind our backs. What a bunch of bullshit. Sorry.
I'm more concerned he's talking to Ruhif, let alone ballers.
I'm trying to sway him into becoming a flat earther.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. I don't think it's working. I think I actually said to him today his conformity bias is too much.
How is his social situation?
I have no idea.
A lot of peer pressure from friends? Or is he just solo and...
No idea.
Shout out to the dodo.
It's probably just a closet flat earther.
Shout out retracted. So, are there any ballers out there that have got any evidence that they can show us to help us work out the sphericity of the Earth? Because I don't think there's any ballers left anymore, Nathan. I think they're all running away with the tails between the legs, but somehow barking it on the way out, telling everybody how strong they've been in their fight.
That's what you would say if you were walking away with an arm removed and, you know, carrying the deceased with their heads removed. We put up a really good fight.
Yeah, they got one leg missing, an arm missing, no evidence.
Yesterday, George Hattinuk wanted to join the show to speak about whatever, and he wasn't able to make it. You know, I'm willing to drop from the show. I could tell some of the guys in the panel we are able to drop. See if a bowler wanted to come in and speak. You know, give us some knowledge.
Well, I'm paying attention now. I finished my game. I won only just, but I won. So I've got the back door open. So if anybody does want to join, they won't be able to kick us anymore.
I'm not looking at the chat, so if somebody sees somebody want to come in, I will drop. Just let me know.
There you go. Very kind panel. If you want to join, mention it in the chat and we'll see to it that you can join.
In the meantime, we'll just hurl rocks from the panel and tell you ballers how stupid your religion is and how triggered you get easily when we say things like, yeah, but you can't prove that point.
Yeah, but that's
just quite easy to be
starting to drool.
Trigger words for globeheads. That's just a presupposition.
Religion is another key word, a key trigger word.
It sounds like that one.
Yeah,
evidence is another one.
That's what we get. People asserting their religious faith. You ask them for an explanation or a demonstration or, heaven forbid, scientific evidence of something, and they literally just give you their religious belief about what the Earth is. You just say, well, my religious belief says so. Well, the Earth has gas pressure without a vacuum. There's my demonstration. No, that's just your religious belief. No, it's not a religious belief. I trust what the people tell me.
Yeah, Brenda trusts a lot of people, doesn't she?
We all know causation is correlation. So.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna have to go down as one of the comments of the show forever. Correlation is causation by Brenda. What an utter moron!
I don't have a religion.
Dumbest baller statement of the year.
Remember Tommy's first day? He said, "I don't have a religion. I'm just extremely happy to believe."
That was brilliant. I ended on that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
You want to let Jimmy in?
I tell you what was interesting last night, Nathan.
Absolutely not.
Tell you what was interesting last night, Nathan. You
Go
know
on,
how
Anthony.
Tommy's like reformed and he's become like a normal person again. He's lost his drongo-ness and rejected that we live on a ball. Instead, he's become human again and realised that we don't. Well, he stayed in the chat last night afterwards, and we were chatting about it. Oh my God, there's M. Scott Veach. So you've not had your eyeballs sucked out your head, mate? Then no. Anyway, he still believes that a cosmic explosion caused everything to exist eventually, and we morphed from a common ancestor that we share with apes. And I was like, really? Go and look into the probability of that statistically, and let me know how you get on with that. Chocolate said it's a bit too early to push him if he's only just worked out that we're not on a ball, so I shouldn't push him too much on living on on evolution. I was like, all right, okay, I'll be quiet then.
So I guess I can call the dairy and tell them they can, stop making these continual printouts, on these milk cartons.
Nah, just slap him with all this stuff. Hey, Tommy, dinosaurs aren't real.
Evolution's not why we're here.
Space isn't real. Nothing's real.
Hey, Riley, the guy on the milk carton just got
might be too
found.
much.
I think we need to make an announcement. The guy on the milk carton just got found. That's pretty.
What?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I just saw
the guy
a
on the
Scott
milk-
Veach in the chat.
I can't believe it. I can call the dairy and tell them to stop printing pictures.
Mandible is another
with
trigger.
his face on
So
the carton.
is
Hold on, have we discounted the possibility that he's just been delivered from a clone centre?
Right.
I'd just rather believe that he had his eyeballs sucked out of his head in an accident in a vacuum chamber, regardless of whether he's alive or not. It's just so much of a cool story. A bit like heliocentricity. Cool story.
Will he be trick-or-treating this year? Is that a question that should be answered?
Don't know, but I reckon he'll be
present me
looking
a
at his
sec, mate?
toes permanently.
You are anyway, Ranty, but yeah.
Oh, right, okay, perfect.
You want the mic,
'Cause-
go ahead.
Well, this is the issue with Ruhif, because obviously he's not accepting that this boat is being compressed. He's saying that the boat itself, I mean, there's what the boat should look like here. He's not saying that this bottom part, which we've gone over and over, isn't being compressed. He says that this part of the boat, the top part that's out of the this narrowing of the viewing angle, this compression area, this part is what we're actually seeing, and the bottom part of the boat is refracting around the curve of the Earth, right? That's what he says. The only problem with that is that we've never seen a compressed building being pulled from beyond the curve of the Earth. Every time we've seen something that's way off in the distance, and it's in perfect proportion, including things like Blackpool Tower, etc. They're not compressed. They always say that when we see things like that, it's obviously being loomed up in its entirety without any changes on it, yeah? So if that's the case, I've just got a little thing that I want to just put in here. I've got the hull of the bottom one, and this is how we would expect to see it, sort of something like this. But if that is being loomed up, this squashed area, then this is what would have happened. This is what we would have seen, like that, because this part of the boat would have been loomed up in proportion, as per every other observation that we've ever seen that looks like we're just looking at a building. They always say that is looming. So we'd have to see it in its entirety. And as it looms up and sits on the horizon, which would be there, it would block out our line of sight to the rest of the boat. And this is the image that you would get.
Yeah.
Because this part wouldn't be loomed. This part is a direct line of sight. This part is loomed. And where the two meet, like so, this is what we would see.
Yeah.
What we actually see is the narrowing of the viewing angle down to almost nothing. In fact, Ranty, I'm going to play a video that we got from a guy called Flat Earth Audio, if you don't mind.
Sure, fire away.
Whilst you're racking that up, Nathan, let me just remind Boohif that we can now explain that Wolfie's cargo container thing that looked like it was behind some curve. Look up something called tidal bore, BORE. That'll explain it for you perfectly. Perfectly explained on a flat plane. Can everybody see this boat not dropping in the horizon? Everybody, boats are not disappearing from the bottom up.
No, it's becoming more and more refracted down upon itself as it reaches that limit of angle. And at that limit, you have Aries diffraction, and as it gets further away, more of the boat, i.e. working up the boat, that effect takes place. Before your very eyes, as you see now, more and more refraction working its way up the boat. It's not disappearing from bottom up over a curve, it's being refracted upon itself more and more as the angle limits as it goes further into the distance. Aries diffraction in action. My kid's very excited about this.
Yeah, if you guys didn't understand Nathan's explanation, what's her name? She could have said it better. She explained it very well too. I got a few videos, I think 2 videos of boats disappearing over the horizon
I'm sorry,
a few
Jose,
months back.
Did you just refer to Eleanor as what's her name?
No.
Yeah, what's her name? I forgot.
Jose.
I was thinking, I'm sorry, Eleanor. Ah, shame on me.
She doesn't care.
Yeah, I think.
Somebody kick this guy.
She doesn't care. She doesn't care, honestly.
I got 2 videos of boats disappearing on the distance, not over the horizon too. They're not as clear as Rantis, but yeah, it's Aries diffraction taking place.
Nathan, do me a favour. Can you put that boat video back on again?
I can.
So the best way I think you're trying to explain this boat disappearing the way you're saying it is that if you had a big rubber in your hand, like an eraser, so you have a big rubber and you rub it across the floor, the rubber is eventually going to start wearing away, and it's going to go lower and lower and lower, and the bottom isn't going beneath the curve; it's just being erased in this very narrow angle.
Let me just say this, Ranty, while I've got it on screen. Awake Souls is in chat now, and Awake Souls reckons that the turbines are all being faked in some way by Ranty. The turbines are sat in a position that is somewhere in the middle of this video, but the same effect is happening to the turbines as what's happening to this boat. They are beginning to reflect underneath themselves that which is on the top, and that's why the blades seem to look massive and touch the water surface. So Awake Souls, when you interpret these blades touching the water surface as curvature, actually what you're looking at is the same thing that's happening to the boat, but the turbines are having it on them as well. And obviously they're fixed in distance, so it governs what you see. You can't vary it by watching it go further away. But this is the reason why the blades look massive on the turbine fins, because as they're spinning round, they're going into this section. This is Aries diffraction elements, and that is the explanation for what Ranty's been capturing. So I'm looking forward to that massive, massive apology for this claim of fraud that you've shouted at him for weeks, because this is what really is happening. The turbines are doing exactly what this boat's doing.
Listen, he can't perspective. He can't. He's like a baller in that respect. So if he can't, he will never accept that. So it's just the way it is. You can't educate some people.
Yeah, the bottom.
This video's worth it.
There's too narrow an angle to the bottom of the turbine. It's just too far away. But you've also got a very handy effect with the turbines, is that the pole that it's sat on will also refract upon itself and not look any different to if it wasn't. But the blades, on the other hand, they do a crazy dance when they reach that limit of refraction, because the bottom tip of the blade, when it's near the horizon, is in that limited angle. So it'll do a crazy effect as you watch it. It's not easy to see in this, but you can kind of see it as it scrolls its way through. So yeah, it's simple. It's a limitation of the viewing angle. Nothing more, nothing less. There are other effects that can happen on top of that are in the near foreground. Again, perspective based. But at that limit, you'll never have, unless you increase in altitude, an angle to the bottom section of those turbines. It's not possible. It's a limitation of the angle that you can see. No amount of zoom will solve it either, because the angle that you're seeing it at is what's limiting it, not the amount of zoom. So you can't zoom in on things that have gone into that limitation of angle zone that used to be called dirty air, used to be called all sorts of different things. Well, it's not. It's simply Aries diffraction in action. Aries diffraction in action.
If a Awake Souls is willing to jump in the show and Nathan allows it, I'll jump out.
Say again,
Nathan, he says he wants Awake Souls to come in.
Yeah. If he want to come in, if you're okay with that, Nathan, I should drop out. I will.
Up to me. You do what you like. All are welcome. I don't care who wants to come in.
Okay, Awake Souls, I'm jumping out. Please step in the show. I'm stepping out right
Let's
now.
remind everybody that we called it, or I called it, dirty air, and then it was replaced by banding or mirroring or whatever. But it's what you ballers still call curvature. Any obstruction is called curvature on your model, and Tim Osmond does it all the time. Soundly does it all the time, and now we know what's going on. We can demonstrate it. So you guys have been deceiving everybody by calling any obstruction refraction or any obstruction curvature, and now we know what it's actually called.
Yeah, and
so
they say
rock
that
on, guys.
They say that we... Oh, Simon Dan, we've got a faker in. I'll quick boot him. Someone boot the fake Simon Dan.
I got him.
Oh, cool. Well done, Arwin.
Nathan, can you play that video in Skype that I've just sent you? I'm just going to put me chicken in.
Hey, Rune.
to cook.
Speak up. Speak up.
Doesn't look like we're going to get just being a placeholder. No worries, Rune.
No, we don't need a placeholder. He dropped.
We're waiting for... Who are we waiting for? Awake Souls?
Yeah.
No, I don't think Awake Souls wants to come in because I don't think he wants to apologise. I think Jose just said he'll drop in the hope that he comes in, but we all know
Is that really you,
he's not going to come in.
Hold on. Is that you, Make 4?
Hello, it's me.
Hello, good to have you. No, he's saying he's working, so no worries.
Working on what? An apology?
Well, look, just look into Aries diffraction. I keep recommending it. I'm sure it's in the info box below this video, and that's the Good Times for All Zachary Zabala explanation of Aries diffraction, how it works, what it does, what the effects will be that you see, and that's what we're seeing. You know, there's no two ways about it. It's down to the limitation of the angle. And with that boat, the one that we've just watched about 5 times, what you're seeing is it going into that limitation, into that angle. That's all you're seeing. And as it does so, the effects are the effects of Aries diffraction. And the effects on the wind turbines are the same. It is the same as my example of the guy who takes his shoes off and leaves them and walks away from them, photographing them until they disappear. Through angular size, they get to 1 pixel in the camera, and then you go back for a bit more and they're no pixels, and they've effectively disappeared. But that's not to say that if someone goes and puts those shoes on, you won't still have a wider viewing angle to the thing that's higher than the shoes, effectively cutting the person's shoes off bottom first. It's not Earth curve, that's Aries diffraction, an angular size limitation to the lowest thing that you can see in the distance. That's it. No curve involved.
Hey dudes, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Any idea how to unblock people on YouTube? Anybody know how to do that?
Not a problem for me anymore. I don't block people, so
No,
it becomes a problem.
I'm pretty sure I have Awake Souls blocked.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the Selenolean eclipse.
The way you unblock him
Okay.
is you go to his channel, Rasta. You have to actually go to his channel and then click the flag in the top right, and then it'll say unblock if you've blocked him.
Oh, well, I don't know. Then go ahead and make 4. I'll decide as to whether or not I feel like doing that in the meantime.
Well, I know eclipses are a little bit strange on a flat Earth. But this Selenolean thing sort of smashes the globe a bit, but they say refraction. I don't know. You might want to. I'm surprised Riley hasn't seen it. Like,
I mean, any globe account that says refraction is relying on terrestrial refraction, because obviously their refraction's bending around a curved Earth at 7/6 the radius. So their refraction is specific terrestrial refraction, 7/6 R. So when they start talking about the effects, the actual effects, it's like, no, you've got an arbitrary value, 7/6 R. It's always going to be curving around a spherical Earth that you presuppose. You're never going to have any evidence to present of R for the 7/6 R. And you've also got no proof of the radius to begin with. The R. Forget the 7/6 bit. What about proof of the radius? So it's all nonsense. That's terrestrial refraction.
have you seen the Selenolean eclipse, Nathan?
Only on a video, not in person, no.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay, cool. What do you think about it?
It's very strange because it's going in a different direction to the what if it was some sort of lensing effect of the atmosphere causing something to appear to be above the horizon when it isn't, but you're still getting Earth in the heliocentric model blocking the light, then you would expect the light to travel from bottom to up on that surface, i.e. the moon. But it doesn't. It travels the other way. So it makes sod all sense. You know, but as far as I'm concerned, if you've got one thing above the horizon that's if you've got two things above the horizon that's supposed to be blocked by you as a sphere, and you're not blocking it, then that absolutely craps all over the heliocentric deception, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure.
Awake Souls was unblocked with no excuses.
Is there a gap though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's no. Yeah, there's one gap.
I think I've got some of the ballers following. I was just in their Discord. They've followed me in here to hear my ramblings.
Cool.
They were, they're sort of saying, you know how you see the ocean when you're looking at the horizon. You're looking at the ocean and you can see the water horizon, which looks like that's where the curve starts, and that's where the boats start disappearing behind. But sometimes you get the shots like Ranty. I think it was Ranty the other night. He was putting out this P1000 footage of the boat going over that little ocean bit, but then in the background you could see the buildings and most of the ground of the buildings, where if the boat's dropping over that water curve, it should be the buildings and the ground should be hidden well behind that water curve. Like, do you guys have any footage of that?
Yeah, well, that's being dug out.
Have you seen that before?
Well, yeah, I'm sure Ranty has, but while that's being dug out, hopefully this is Ranty's cue to scurry around and get exactly that. But the reason for it is simple. The boat, which is smaller than a building in the background, can still have the effects of Ares diffraction, i.e. it can still be small enough to sit in that limited angle because it's smaller, even though it's closer. So you can have the effects happening to something in the near foreground, and yet only the bottom's already gone on the very limited angle of the buildings in the background, but the rest of the buildings are still visible. In other words, it craps all over the globe again. Doesn't matter that you've got a boat appearing like you can beg the question and say it's going over a curve. It's like, what about the bloody building in the background? Yes, you've still got the same limited angle to the bottom of it, but you can see the top of it. You know, it should be gone behind the curve if the boat's going behind the curve. You know, everything we detail and see is all accountable by perspective.
Right.
You there, Auntie? Not at all. Might round out the show because Ranty's obviously not here. Give him a couple of seconds, and if not, we'll have a quick break and hopefully get Awake Souls on in the interim. Interesting show, mixed bag of sniping and discussion. Fun.
I do have a bit of a tough question. Do you guys have an answer for an eclipse, a lunar eclipse? I'm a bit flat. I'm a bit whatever. I'm definitely not Helio, that's for sure. But
do you want my quick answer? Quick answer
how do we
from
explain
me.
lunar eclipses?
No, don't know what any of those celestial objects are. So no, I don't have an explanation for it. And frankly,
and their explanation works only like half the time at best, and so they'll cling to those times that their explanation works, but they'll ignore the times that it doesn't work.
Yeah, man, like the shadows, the penumbra and the umbra, I think that's total bullshit. I know it's possible to have like a bit of the edge of the shadow fuzzy and like maybe over large distances it does do that, but I still feel like direct sunlight over the Earth to the moon would easily cover that. Like, it's such a massive shadow, and it should happen like
and
once
Earth
a month,
shine should far outshine moon reflectivity shine. So basically, when you're talking about things being in focus, the amount of reflectivity off the Earth should always put the moon out of focus for viewing from the Earth if it works the way they say in a heliocentric model.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!